You have said that birds saved your life. So in what way?
So as I've described, my world had shrunk to a chair and a window looking out into a garden full of birds, and I'd had a lifelong love of birds, which was which almost came to the rescue in a way. My love of birds started when I was something like 7 or 8, when my father my father built the nesting box from the Blue Peter Annual, and so he made this nesting box. He put it out in the garden. A couple of days later, blue tits occupied the nesting box. A couple of weeks later, tiny little minuscule perfect white eggs with little speckles appeared. And then a couple of weeks after that, they turned into equally tiny little gapes of tiny little nestlings. And so the sight of me, so the sight that greeted me when I opened the box had looked inside, and these eggs had become 9 little fledglings gaping up at me, is a sight I'll never forget. And I think from that moment I was hooked on birds. And almost incredibly now to think back, because my life back then was so seemingly boring, just like going downstairs, sitting in a chair. I would wake up and I would feel excited. I would feel excited to go downstairs, pull back the curtains, and just see what was happening in this world of birds. And as I said in the poem Birdwatching, it was as if I'd outsourced my consciousness to birds. So in here, not a lot going on really, not much interior life, but out there in the garden, this vibrant, colourful movement of birds. And it's almost as if I'd swapped
Mm.
this for the birds. Um, and so I was seldom bored, because, for example, because of my little tick sheet that you'd seen earlier on, I knew intimately what was happening in my garden and its birds. So for example, I'd see a great spotted woodpecker, and I'd think, that's the first one I'd seen for 3 weeks. That's interesting. So everything was interesting.
Okay, do you want to share your picture of the robin?
Ah, so that's the robin that came to feed on my hand, and that's a bit of, although I do say cheese in the poem, that could in fact be sausage meat. Full disclosure.
Okay. So let's have the poem then.
So this one's called We Give What We Can. We give what we can. Cross my palm with robin, just one pin, just one needle, tiny claw prickle human hand, blood orange bib bird, across my heart line, along my love line. This pumpkin sky morning sunrise has trusted me with a fragment of itself. We give what gifts we can. Me, a crumb of cheese. The robin, one drop of life's spittle. A wild bird comes to my hand, and for a moment I am wild too. And so these two poems are about the consolation of nature. This one's called Just Sitting, which is particularly poignant at the moment, because I did have a couple of days ago, I had quite a bad relapse. So despite the fact that I'm quite often able to walk around, I have had a relapse, so I'm back into just sitting mode, which possibly adds a bit of authenticity. Anyway, just sitting. A Prosecco world, still all winter, stirred in March, shaken in April. This morning, the cork comes out, fizzing spring morning, jug after jug poured through a bright hole in the sky. I want to share in it, to taste it, like spilt wine licked off the table greedily before it's gone. But today, I cannot walk. Not through those cloister woods to my bluebell church music deep in black cap, that hoverfly and stitchwork springcraft, nor will I headlong into spears of it. Here in this garden, I'll let nature wait on me, hand and foot and all the senses. The tincture of skylark, dripping song, neat, straight onto eardrums, listening for that part with the long notes, where for a moment the whole world warps into one long note. I'm rooted to the spot, but I have roots. Today I cannot walk. Everything is here.